Today, we're talking about some fun GTA 6 rumors and conjecture. Tango Gameworks gets saved, and there are hints of a Hi-Fi Rush sequel. And has the Helldivers 2 community turned to mutiny to get the developers' attention? Stick around to find out. Welcome, friends, to this week's episode of Good Playing With You, the weekly gaming podcast. I'm Dan Whitehill, and as always, I'm joined by our Good Playing Good buddies, Matt Lord.
Hey, how's it going?
And Matt Maulding.
Hey now.
Before we jump into the headlines, let's check in with my barbaric bunch of Matts and find out what everyone's been playing this week. Lord?
I've been just barbarically playing some Stellar Blade on the PS5. Still loving it. It's been a bit of a crawl, but I'm to the final boss, and that game, it has a lot more Dark Souls elements to it than I thought there was going to be. I thought it was going to be more of a Nier Automata, just kind of jump to one spot of the map to the other with no problems. Really good game. Still amazed by the graphics.
It looks beautiful.
The first boss, I'm telling you guys, it's so cool. Like, it's this totally demented looking monster throwing lightning bolts. Just a good time, and I love a good hack and slash type of game, and it has one of the features I do really love in this game. I was meaning to talk about it, was it has like a fighting arena type of thing where you can go in and practice your combo moves. So you can become very good at it just in like against a monster who is either just doing like one basic attack. And I think that type of stuff it takes me a second. I'm never sure about it, but when I see that it's executed correctly, I love just going in and practicing almost like a fighting game.
That's smart.
Yeah, it's really fun. It's cool. Then playing some Fortnite, I jumped on with my buddy Andrew, who's a listener of the show, longtime listener, and we played 2 rounds and got 2 dubs.
Nice.
Gotta say,
that's awesome.
And yeah, I was on the PS5.
Now I really want to play with you guys.
Get in here, Dan. I'm telling you, we're getting wins over here. And
do you play no build or build?
No build.
Agreed.
My old brain.
You're on console. You kind of have to play no build because those PC people are just too fast when it comes to build.
Exactly. And I was telling it to him online. I think it's so true. The console controller is so superior to PC. Like I've been playing on, it just feels good. Get to switch with your paddles. Everything is great in that game. That game is gonna go down as the game, and it's go down as the game in gaming history, you guys.
I love that Lord's all hyped about the game because he got a couple of wins, so he's over here talking about how great it is.
A game that's been out in like part of the zeitgeist for like 5 years.
Yeah, exactly.
You just get 2 wins in a row, and you're just feeling on top of the world. So that's been it for the week for me.
Awesome.
Nice.
Maulding.
A lot of 7 Days to Die. Like that has been my game this week.
I love that I talked you into it and got you addicted because I'm addicted to it too.
I know it's crazy. I've spent a lot of time on it. I mean, I have 2 games. I have one game with you and Jack, and then I have another game that's just my own that I don't have to wait for you jabronis to pop online to be able to play. I can just do it on my own. And I had my second blood moon, which sounds really weird out of context, last night, and had a base already, and the zombies.
Yes, and Lord, he was texting me at like 10:30 last night, and I'm trying to answer like, you hold down the X button and you get this, and I was giving him tips on the bars that he needed and all that sort of stuff, and I was like, sheesh, I'm going to bed.
You gave me one tip. You didn't give me a bunch.
It was a really good tip,
but it was a good tip. Absolutely, it was. It was something.
I mean, after you destroying the base the other week, Maulding, you're lucky you got one tip out of Dan.
That is a very good point.
Well, maybe I figured if I could help him build his own, and he might accidentally like destroy it, or he might learn, and then mine's safer if he knows how to build them.
Not safe at all. In fact, it's less safe now because now I can do stuff with it.
Is the blood moon? Sorry, is it just like not
So
Tears of the
7 days.
Kingdom, but Breath of the
Yeah.
Wild, where it respawns all the zombies again.
So every 7 days in the game, there's like a zombie apocalypse, and they just come out of nowhere, and it's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds
It's
of
awesome.
zombies that
Oh,
come
that's
and
cool.
attack you and try to find you. So you basically have to build a base to protect yourself for this every 7 days. And
Oh.
from what I can tell, it gets progressively harder and harder and harder. So you just have to build your base better and better and better each time. And I built a base that was so good that the zombies couldn't even climb up to the front door, and it was a very boring 15 minutes that I had to wait for the blood moon lasts way too long. It should be
It
cut down a
totally is.
couple hours, a couple
Agreed.
in-game hours, not real game hours. So I've been having a lot of fun with that. And then I've also been playing this week. I played a little bit of Creatures of Ava, which is a game that came out on Game Pass a couple weeks ago. You boot it up and I thought it was going to be a Tears of the Kingdom-esque sort of game, because you get a power right off the bat and you can manipulate the world a little bit. But man, after about 20 minutes, I was asking myself it's not very fun. I did not find it a very fun game. It's just not for me, and that's absolutely fine. If you like collecting animals, it seems to be the main gist about it. Running around collecting different type of animals, taking photos of them. It's just not it did not strike my fancy at all.
That's a thank you Game Pass type of game.
Yeah.
Yes, and it's not. The great thing about Game Pass, it's not a game that I would have ever picked up and I would have ever bought, but I did get a chance to play it. Granted, I'm not giving a stellar review of it, but it's just not for me. It's very pretty, not for me. So I'm looking forward to getting back to 7 Days to Die. Super excited. What about you, Dan?
I've been playing the same stuff. So 7 Days to Die, a lot of Fortnite. I loved the 2v8 mode, which I wrote a great article and put on our website for anybody
Dead by
who
Daylight.
who wants to read more about Dead by Daylight.
Absolutely.
So that's on our website if you want to check that out. But that's essentially I've been playing the usual stuff, and then so let's just skip right to the headlines and let's talk about the games we're going to play, because I want to talk about some GTA 6 rumors.
Ooh.
First up, Maulding, you had some good scoop. Now, of course, this is all coming from Twitter, so it's rumors, conjecture, but it did seem pretty plausible when I read through it. But you had this story, Maulding.
Yeah, this is the juiciest of juicy Grand Theft Auto 6 rumors.
Anything I can get Grand Theft Auto, I'm willing to talk about, to be honest with you.
So it comes from GTA 6 Countdown. That's the account name. I think it's a pretty popular GTA 6 Twitter handle or Twitter account, because they get a lot of likes. I don't know where they got this information from. But we'll just start reading some of these leaks off. GTA 6 has been in development since 2014. We kind of know that. We kind of know it's been around a while. This is the first jaw-dropping one. It supposedly costs $2 billion. That's what they say this video game is cost to make. I don't know how that can be true. I mean, that's got to be the most expensive entertainment property ever. Movies don't cost $2 billion.
For sure.
So that's absolutely wild. Supposedly it launches in fall of 2025. The state of Leonida.
I'm nervous about that 2025 fall. I'm just putting that out there.
Yeah.
I don't want to wish it, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, the chances of any game this far out actually coming out when they say it's going to come out is pretty slim. But
exactly,
even fall of 2025, that's still way far away. So
yeah, I was going to say that. We're not even fall 2024.
Yeah, I don't even know what I'm doing this fall, let alone a year from now. But it also could be that they split things up to where they have the base game out then, and then the online in the new year, whatever. I don't want to stop.
So they say
that's key right there. Yeah. I think. Yeah.
they say the state of Leo, I think it's pronounced Leonide. I don't know how it's pronounced. Leonide, I think, will expand over time. So that goes to what you say, that they'll put out the base, and then over time they'll build like more areas around it. There'll be two playable protagonists. We knew that, Jason and Lucia. They say it's coming to Xbox and PlayStation. Yeah. Not coming to PC right away, coming to PC at a later date. That kind of goes with other Rockstar properties. They usually put things out on console first and then expand to PC. There's supposed to be, they think a trailer 2 is expected later this year. They say that based upon other Rockstar properties. They kind of have a way about doing things where they put out trailers in certain times. So there's way more. So big focus on heists and the drug trade. Now,
Awesome.
Dan, you and I played a lot of the heists.
We like the heists.
GTA 5, super fun. These are kind of like bespoke missions that are really involved, a lot of moving parts with you and your crew that you have to do. So that makes me curious if there's then going to be a crew that you can organize in your own game.
Good question.
So how's that going to work? Because Heist was pretty much purely online, unless I'm mistaken, and they did some heists on your own. Huge focus on interactivity.
They did Franklin, Trevor, and
yeah, no, I guess that's true. You're right. Huge focus on interactivity. The player. So at one point in the leaks, the player can interact with a gumball machine. So evidently everything can be interacted with. That's crazy.
Love the detail.
Yes.
One of the other things that's further on down I liked is that where is it? I'll get to it. Highly improved water physics with a focus on water related events. I loved being on the water in GTA 5. I thought
agreed.
Would have loved to have had a lot more of that. So
and if this has islands and it's like Florida, there's going to be a lot of boats, yachts. There are going to be sea-doos. I'm calling it now. I mean, it's all going to be there. It's going to be awesome.
Over 1,500 world events. Which is crazy. I don't even know what a world event would be, but that sounds wild.
Don't care. Sounds great.
Online mode will feature role play. So for all our role
didn't
play,
they take over a role play server? Like they did. They're way into that. They're going to support that for sure. I think they took the ownership of one.
I think you can say like, "Hey, we're the cops. We're the bad guys." Like that's awesome.
You can be fun. Finally, Matt.
I can be what?
Maulding, you can be a hooker. You can realize
that's what I've been dreaming of.
Why
play when I just had my real life? So 2026 delay is on the table as an emergency plan. That's not surprising. Here's one. Okay, here are the two big ones. The map is supposed to be 2 times the size of GTA 5. It takes 5 to 7 minutes to get from the south of GTA 5 to the north of GTA 5 driving in a car. That's so. Can you imagine 10 minutes to get from one place to another? There better be some fast travel in there. I do not want to be driving up and down that map.
But they never do the fast travel online, though. That's what has me nervous.
I know that's rough. This is the one that I really like. 70% enterable buildings. I love this in a video game. If you see a building and you can go into it, it's not just a locked wall or just windows that are just lead nowhere where it's just decoration. If a lot of the buildings you can actually interact with and go in, I love that. I can eat that up.
Nice.
There's a lot of other stuff here. I don't want to go through, so I'm just going to pick a few of the other ones. 3 major cities and 4 smaller cities, returning locations like the Malibu Club, Ocean View Hotel, Little Haiti, and Leaf Links. Stealing expensive cars will require specific tools, so you can't just jump into any old car and have it be your own like we could before.
I love that. Great detail.
I like that a lot. Let's pick another. Here's a good one. The body weight mechanic and the dual wielding from San Andreas return.
Great.
I thought the body weight mechanic was really fun.
That's another. Honestly, the more immersion. Yeah, but like you got to be that immersion. Like you don't realize, but that adds to the game so much. That's why San Andreas was so great. There were so many little details like that sprinkled out. It sounds like they're really going back to the roots. All these details lead me to believe that and kind of
Yeah.
show that. I'm excited. I love what I'm hearing. This sounds great to me.
Hopefully
Yeah,
the
it
price
sounds really good.
hopefully the prices at Cluck and Bell haven't hit the inflation that we're having in real life because
Oh
I know.
my. That's so true. And well, speaking of which, I mean, does that make kind of solidify the $100 price tag?
I
don't
don't
know.
I wouldn't
So
want to even put this out there. I would spend $100 on this game. I mean, I
Wait,
probably
but Maulding,
would.
there are a couple more on that list if you don't mind reading a few.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff I don't want to drone on, but NPCs have their own lives and make real-time decisions based on what's around them. I think that's awesome. I mean, talk about immersion. A lot of games, try to nail that now, having their own paths that they walk and their own
Question
lives.
for you guys. Do you think that's going to be like an AI driven mechanic?
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
for sure.
Right
For
above
sure.
it, they mention police AI significantly improved, behaving like real life. I don't
Okay, I don't know if I
necessarily
like
need
that.
I don't know if I necessarily need that.
I just drive into a
Um,
field and they wouldn't come
So
after me. So
then, yeah.
I miss that. I'm gonna miss
So like,
that.
do you think we're also kind of going into like online connected for like always type of deal? So I don't like that too much. Like always online type of game. Do you think that's going to be for?
I think that's unavoidable with almost
Yeah,
any game we play now. I think that's just
I
the
agree.
standard.
Yeah, but some games you can get away with it offline. But I mean, I mean, something like this, I understand if, especially if they're going for that real immersion with the AI and the citizens. Okay, you got to do
Yeah,
it.
I don't think our machines alone can handle that kind of stuff. I think they're probably going to need to constantly pull stuff from the cloud. Would be my guess.
Good call.
Yeah,
I did like the one that said there was returning activities: basketball, tennis, bowling, gyms, fishing, shooting range, nightclubs and strip clubs, golf, and new activities of football, surfing, and mud clubs. I don't know what a mud club is, but I
Yeah.
can't wait to find out.
Mud Club. Oh, well, didn't we see a little piece of that in the first
Trailer,
trailer?
yeah, with
Yeah,
the
where
wrestling.
they were kind of like all muddied up.
Yeah,
So
good
I
call.
like that. Cool. That's sweet.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Fun
I
stuff.
mean, I really hope these leaks. They're so specific
Yeah,
I would guess that they are probably true. But super
me
excited
too.
for this game.
They sounded true. They were small enough that it's not
Yeah.
like earth shattering. It felt very in the GTA universe, and it does just make me a little bit more excited about it.
I'm super
Yeah.
pumped. Good find, Maulding.
Yeah. No, I
definitely
mean, thank you. It was all me. It had nothing to do with the internet.
good. Well, one video game that doesn't have such good news going for it is Helldivers 2. Lord, you have this story about the community that's ready to mutiny.
Oh, yeah. So Helldivers 2 players are letting the automatons surge towards Super Earth in protest of the latest patch. So this is coming from, well, as my there we go. As long as my computer loads up here, this is from PC Gamer Harvey Randall. He says, let Super Earth burn. Helldivers 2 players are committing treason to protest its latest patch, allowing a tide of bots to creep worryingly close to home. The Helldivers 2 patch has gone down about as smoothly as a glass of napalm, chiefly due to some nerfs to the flamethrower, which has sparked a full-on wildfire of criticism so bad that the CEO of Student felt inclined to give a response. One fascinating form of protest appears to be happening in-game. It says, let the bots advance, let Super Earth burn, writes one player on the game's subreddit, showing a map of the Galactic War with an automaton font that's coming a little too close to Super Earth there. So crazy. The players are in game calling for a complete mutiny of in protest. I think it's very interesting. It's almost like a
Wild.
review bomb in a different form.
That's a
And
good
I think it's
point.
kind of genius. And I'm sure Joel, who's the solo war master of this thing, is shitting his pants over this.
Well, we
Because
should say, just to give a little context to this,
yeah,
this is not something that just randomly happened. If
no,
anyone's been in the trenches with these people, they've seen a constant history of Arrowhead putting out patches to these guns and then listening
mhm.
really closely to the community talking about what the good guns are, and then Arrowhead goes and nerfs them. Like, players do not like nerfs. Everyone should look from the Diablo 4 fiasco right after launch, what they did. It will sour your community faster than anything. And they have
Oh
done
yeah.
it repeatedly. After all of these war bonds and everything that they're adding, they keep nerfing things. And now with the flamethrower that was a favorite, I mean, it is just, you can see this community is just tired. I think what this community really wants is real change. And they're just getting incremental cosmetics and guns, and they're not getting anything. We keep asking, like, where is the third enemy? We've had the same two enemies
That's
forever. And I fault Arrowhead a little bit, because after the initial success, I think they were afraid to staff up. So what's happening is bugs are creeping into literal, like, the code, and not just in the game. And then you're having things that, like the flamethrower and stuff, that need to be nerfed and stuff. And it should be the opposite way. They should be putting this stuff out and then buffing stuff, but we're not
mhm.
seeing that. And it's really starting to sour a community that was super, super happy in the beginning.
I think it goes to show that these super happy communities, as soon as it goes south, they can get pretty wild.
For
So
sure.
we're gonna have to see what happens there. I know there's still, a lot of community. This is still a smaller bit of the community as the article notes, but I think
I don't know.
it's
In the Reddit, they're pretty much like, they're pretty funny about it. They'll be like, this is the worst effing gun in the game. And then you click on it and it's like, okay, guys, this is the new good gun in the game. Please don't tell Arrowhead. And then they will talk about the stats. I love when they post like that. It's
that
really
is
funny.
hilarious. I love that. I mean, just the last few times I've played, I just continue. Say it every time. It's the same game. They're even with all the different changes that they're attempting to do. It feels the same. You go in, you do the same thing. You're diving around. I just need that new enemy, like you said. Once the new enemy comes in, I think
Yes.
potentially I'll come back and be a little more, open and receptive to what might happen. But with the two enemy, I don't even like fighting the automatons. So let's put that out there as well. So Malden.
Question.
Yeah,
So
I
with
agree.
a PvE game, why nerf the guns? Like, what is the developer's reason to make you less powerful in a PvE game? Is it to extend the time that you play so that people invest more money into it, buying various items, various cosmetics? Like, what's the reasoning to make you less powerful?
I think
Any
just
idea?
to I think it has to have something like a monetary
Yeah,
sort of
there has to be
value.
some
There
bigger reason,
Yes.
right?
I would think
Yeah.
that like monetarily it must translate to, okay, they don't have this gun that just got nerfed, or they have this gun that got nerfed, so we're gonna potentially lead them towards a different gun that they might not have, that they would have to buy on a war bond
I
or
mean, that
some
sounds
super credit.
exactly. Yep, that's would be
So
my
I
guess too.
think that's gonna be it. What do you
We'll
think, Dan?
see.
Is that
See,
yeah?
I know that the director did respond to this just yesterday about his plans to fix the game. And I don't want to belabor this story too much, so I'm just going to be really quick and jump to the point where it talks about what his proposed changes were.
Mhm.
And he lists a plan that says, continue to re-examine our approach to balance. Our intention is that balance should be fun and not balanced for the sake of balance, meaning I think they're getting the message that no one likes these nerfs. Update
Hmm.
how the fire damage mechanic works to tweak how the flamethrower serves as a close range support weapon. Rework gameplay to prevent excessive ragdolling, rethinking our design approach to primary weapons and create a plan for making combat more engaging, reprioritize bug fixes so that the more immediate gameplay impacting bugs are improved, rework the chargers, improve game performance and frame rate, exploring a creation of opt-in beta testing, host regular player surveys, improve our process for patch and release notes, and more blog posts and streams. So they don't seem to have anything big planned. It's just, hey, we're going to communicate more, which communication
Yeah,
is good, but are they missing the point?
I would say so. It sounds like, I mean, even that to me, it just sounds like a lot of just like great. Like they're doing that. I mean, no one is probably listening to these surveys that a player might do after a bad game. I think, I mean, it's great that they might fix some bugs, but in the end, though, I still think it's overall, it's what the game, the progression of the game needs to be beyond just fixing bugs and hearing, what they could do better. I think it needs to be like a humongous improvement to what the game actually currently is. So whatever that might be, I'm not sure. Arrowhead needs to pull a bunny out of a hat for this one
I agree.
And not nerf it.
and not nerf it. They can't nerf anymore.
Don't kneecap the bunny. All right, moving on. We've got some better news here, happier news to report. An article from IGN says Hi-Fi Rush IP and Tango Gameworks acquired by Krafton from Xbox. Studio will no longer be shut down. This will allow the team to continue developing the Hi-Fi Rush IP and explore future projects. So that sounds pretty much like potential. I mean, it's awesome news that this studio is being purchased and rescued. People are going to stay employed, but it also sounds like a Hi-Fi Rush sequel might be coming down. There was a press release from Krafton that shared the news, and basically just says everything I said there in the title. It was all this whole story was there. So I will go ahead and belabor the point. Read.
Is it a Japanese company that bought it?
South
Do
Korean.
you know? Yeah, South
It's
Korean.
the PUBG company.
Oh yes,
Parent
yes.
company. Yeah.
Nice.
So maybe we
So
have
what do you
a
guys
PUBG.
feel like? What are your reactions to this story? Are you psyched? Were you fans of this, or what are your thoughts?
I mean, I am. Yeah, I'm happy. That's great that uh Tango is getting acquired, and hopefully everyone still has their jobs over there. I think that's huge. And a sequel would be nice as well. I liked the first game a lot. I thought the rhythm based combat had a really nice flow. I never beat that one, but I did put quite a few hours into it. I liked what I saw. I think a lot of people were very, very hyped over Hi-Fi Rush. So I think if they play their cards right, a sequel could kind of blow the doors off this thing. I mean, it doesn't have to exactly, but I think it could be very hyped and well received.
I didn't play it, so I don't know anything about it. I just know that it was loved, and it's a huge bummer when the studio was closed by Microsoft. So happy that they all got their jobs back, hopefully. And I think that article, I think they did say that everyone's hired back. I think the entire studios is back. So it's nice to have some good news for a change.
Yeah, I agree. So happy to hear about the studio thing. For the game itself, I liked it. I thought it was good. I do think it might be a little overhyped, but like good on this studio. I hope that when they release the sequel eventually, that it does blow the doors off the place. It might not be a game for me, but I know that just the goodwill towards the community, that they love it so much that it will sell really, really well. And I think that the gameplay mechanic with the motion and rhythm was really original, and I would love to see what else that they can do with it.
Yeah, agreed. And this is a what Craft is what their name is, Krafton.
Yeah,
they have done really well with PUBG, and they've almost like that's a big competitor to Fortnite. So they know how to make a game work and have longevity. I think they can make this, like, and it might be nice. Like, I mean, I know they have some
you
other
saying
games.
Rush Online,
Yeah, like
battles.
they could do something like that. I'm trying to think like what could this do differently than like their original, like what do you think? Could they do something completely unique to the game that we weren't expecting? Like what would something like that look like?
Maybe they take a line from GTA and add some like prostitutes and some mud wrestling, maybe some
Right?
AI
Yes,
cops. I think that'll
yes.
really
Role play
change everything.
servers.
Role
You're
play,
right.
exactly.
Yeah,
It does need a little bit of that, I think. That would really spice things up and completely unexpected.
Yeah.
Agreed. Speaking of sequels that are going to be spicing things up a little bit and different from the one that came before, we have a story about The Witcher 4.
Yeah. So I just think this is a little bit of a interesting one. We had Geralt's voice actor confirm that he'll
Geralt.
be.
It's Geralt.
Oh,
Not Gerald.
Gerald's the guy
Come
from
on.
accounting.
yeah. Wait.
Gerald
That
did
is
my taxes last year.
Exactly. Yeah.
that is so right. Wait, Geralt. Holy, I
Yeah.
haven't spoken this name in too long, obviously, guys. So this really is sad. Okay, I'm totally blowing it, but let's continue on.
No, it was
Geralt
great.
will be like part of Witcher 4, but he confirmed that he won't be the main character.
So this is the
And
voice actor, right?
this is
That
the
confirmed that,
voice
right?
actor, Doug Cockle. Hopefully I got that name right. This is what he had to say about it. He's like, the Witcher 4 has been announced. He said, I can't say anything about it. What we know is that Geralt will be part of the game. We just don't know how much, and the game won't focus on Geralt. So it's not about him this time. And he said, we don't know who it's about, which is very interesting and kind of leading us on a mysterious path. But I gotta say, like, after playing Witcher 3, I'm just I love that character, and I
Yeah,
want more
agreed.
of him. And so I don't know
No,
what to make
no,
of it.
that makes me nervous, to be honest with you.
Yes.
Geralt is such like an iconic character, and I know that players loved him. And look, other games have been able to pivot from really strong characters. Far Cry has is known for its villains, and while the last one wasn't the greatest, but Pengman and Voss, and I mean they have some great villains, and they've been able to do it. But then there are other games like Borderlands. Look, Borderlands, I love you very, very much, but after you lost Handsome Jack, your series didn't know what to do for
Mhm.
villains, and it kind of struggled with the last one on part three, which was clever with the social media stars, but they just didn't have the panache that Handsome Jack had. And my concern here is everyone's looking forward to Witcher, 4. Can they pull another, rabbit out of their hat and have it be as popular as Geralt? I don't know.
Oh,
The Witcher 3 is such a fantastic game. I trust them.
But
CD Project
Cyberpunk
Red.
2077, you cannot
It,
trust
it
them.
did it did at the beginning, but then they pulled it out. They pulled it out at the end. But I'm
Did
guessing it's
they?
not the exact same people, the same team that worked on both games. And I don't know. I don't know that for a fact, but I trust them to create a very good Witcher game. So I'll play whoever they put me as the protagonist as. I'd love to be the witch, one of the witches. I think that would be awesome to have that be my protagonist. So
That would actually be an interesting twist, because
yeah,
then you could have more magic in it than you had in the other
yeah,
one.
I would love that.
I'm just gonna miss Gerald. I'm with you, Dan. It makes me nervous that they're going to be switching gears like this. I think CD Project Reds has to nail it with this one. I think they caught so much flack with Cyberpunk. I think they're still kind of, they have recovered in a way, but they need to make a launch that just knocks it out of the park. So, and they're losing their main boy. I don't know. I want it to be just great, and I have so many good memories from Witcher 3. So I just hope it's on
I
track
agree.
and what we expect.
And what was the name of the voice actor for Geralt?
Uh, Doug Cockle.
Well,
Doug Cockle.
speaking of cockles, did you guys hear about the Fleshlight
That's a
that plays
transition.
Doom?
No,
You've
but
been
that's
waiting
yeah.
weeks for that
I have been,
transition.
exactly. But you know what? It's finally here. We finally have time to talk about this crazy story. I pulled this story from Gizmodo a couple weeks ago. Kyle Barr writes a story about a Doom playing Fleshlight that buzzes with delight every time you kill a demon. The
Wow.
device satisfyingly clicky buttons appear to work well with the classic first-person shooter. And so it literally looks like a, column, a white column. It has a little LCD screen on there. and then you put it on your unit, and on the top there are buttons that you can use to actually play the game. It was done in a YouTube video by Aaron Christoffel, and he's done a
Thank you,
couple
Aaron.
hardware hacks in the past. He previously got Doom running on an electric toothbrush, and in this video he shows off the 1998 landmark FPS running on the masturbatory aid. So I thought this was pretty entertaining, and it's crazy to see. What do you guys think about that? Would you try
Call
it?
me when you can put Skyrim on one. Then I'll
That's
be
what I'm saying.
interested.
What game would get you to use this thing?
Fall Guys.
I know, right?
That's just so like, it's just such a specific thing to get a game such as Doom to run. Like, I think the guy's out here doing God's work. Let's be honest. He's
Of
like,
course,
this
yes.
guy obviously is very knowledgeable and on both parties, the Fleshlight and Doom. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, does it like go to town while you're like playing, or I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm
when you get a
very
kill,
curious.
it vibrates and stuff like
Wow,
that. So
crazy.
depends on how good you are at the game, because you can
Yeah.
do a lot of shooting in that game, and it could be
A lot of
shooting
shooting.
for
I think you
real.
do a lot of shooting after the game too.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Oh my gosh, that is that's awesome. I mean, they're getting Doom to run. The question is, what can't Doom run on at this point? It's on everything.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
That is wild.
Crazy.
Well, I had to share that story. I thought it was really funny.
No, it's a
Too
good one.
not share.
All right, moving on. Let's head to the emails of the week. First up, Lord, I believe you had a topic for us.
So I was thinking about FPS, and I was probably from playing Fortnite on the controller last night, and I thought, what games, like which game did I play first where I learned to play FPS, moving your character, moving the camera, dual analog stick FPS games? Like, what was the first game that you learned to do that on? And I thought, gosh, like if I really thought about it, for me at least, it would have had to have been Max Payne on the PS2. And when I think back on little Matt playing that bullet time, and there was no auto aim in that game. So when you were like trying to get precise, it got you really good at making sure you were super precise with your aiming. And I think that actually helped in the long run. Like nowadays, when you have all this auto aim and everything, I feel like I'm pretty confident with my aiming on controller. And I'm
Because
like,
you were trained at a young
I'm
age.
trained at a young age. Max Payne on the PS2, you guys. It totally did it for me. What about you guys?
That was such a great game too.
Oh, it was so good. Max, and they're remaking it as well. Both of them actually. So
Yes.
it's hyped.
Mine is Doom on my Fleshlight. That really taught me a lot.
Yeah, I'm
No.
sure it did.
In reality, no, it's got to be GoldenEye. Like GoldenEye.
Okay, I
is,
wanted to kind of fight you on this
Yeah.
one. I saw
Wait,
you
is
put
that
this.
not? Is it not what I remember?
Oh,
Well, it was on the Nintendo
No.
64, so you
Yeah.
had
Yeah,
the
did the
four.
Nintendo 64 have dual?
No, it had the
thumbsticks?
one thumbstick,
Mhm.
and then it had the yellow camera
Oh,
buttons.
Yeah,
They
you're
were camera
totally
buttons.
And then the
right.
C
I
buttons,
couldn't
the
wait to
C
fight you on that one
Yes.
because I don't believe
No,
it
you're-
wasn't until like
Turok.
PlayStation 2.
Oh, Turok,
thought-
you were able to use the C buttons to move around, unless you were able to do that in. I don't think.
Yeah, but I was telling Maulding that I don't think
Yeah.
that the yellow camera controls count
Yes.
as another thumbstick.
Mm-hmm.
So you're gonna have to come up with
I
something
don't know,
else.
but aren't you using the other thumbstick to control the camera in a regular FPS?
You're
You
using
are.
the right to control the character in that, and the
Uh-huh.
left to control the camera. So it does technically, but it's not a stick. It's not a dual
Yes.
stick.
Yeah, I see
Mhm.
what you mean. Well, then it isn't GoldenEye. Then I'm trying to think. I'd have to go back and think. There was
Well,
a
you think
South
about
Park
it, and I'll
game,
tell you about
maybe
mine.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Go.
Okay. So then thinking about it, I was like, okay, I'm going to bust Maulding on this one because that's what I initially thought too. I was about to say Super Mario 64, but then I was like, but those are camera buttons. That's not actually a stick. And then I was like, okay, so when did the dual sticks come out? And I think it was on the PlayStation 2.
Yeah.
It might have actually been on PlayStation 1, and then I don't know, PlayStation 2 definitely had it. So then I was like, okay, well, I didn't play PlayStation 2 when that one came out in 2000 or whatever. I played 2001. I think there was a GameCube, and that was the first one I played that had the dual sticks. So then I was like, okay,
Nice.
what did I play on the GameCube? And it was, I think my first one would be Super Mario Sunshine, and if not, it was SSX Tricky or Wave Race 64.
Whoa.
I loved all three of those games. But then you asked about shooters. And so, see, I thought way too much about this. And so then I was like, okay, well, I played Resident Evil 4. So that might have actually been my real answer is Resident Evil 4.
Nice. That's a good one. I feel like that was early days, and that would train you, no doubt, that little laser.
Yeah, it was a great controller, little controller.
Totally. No, it's so good. I like that. I like RE4 a lot.
I liked your question. It made me think entirely too much.
Good. I'm glad.
Maulding, I'm still sticking with GoldenEye. I'm fine with the yellow buttons being a thumbstick. We're fine with that.
No, I was saying, Maulding, like I think there was a way to switch around the control scheme, so you could use the C buttons, which are the little yellow, to move around, and you can aim with the analog. But I know you
asked about two sticks.
I know I did. But I'm giving Maulding a pass on this.
Yeah, it's good times.
Honorable mention: Doom on the Fleshlight.
Yes, exactly.
Not to kick a dead horse, but that would be honorable mention.
A fun co-op activity for everyone.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah.
It's all right, a solo game.
Yeah. On that note, we need to wrap things up. Please make sure you're subscribed to our socials, and on YouTube, hit that like button too. And on behalf of the Good Playing With You crew, Matt Lord, Matt Maulding, and myself, Dan Whitehill, have a great weekend. And as always, good playing with you.
Good playing with you.
Good playing with you.